If you're trying to fix your neck hump, your dowager's hump, or your forward head posture by just stretching out your chest and maybe strengthening your back muscles, you are skipping the most important step. Before we can start adding strength to certain areas, we have to understand that there is so much compression in the front part of our rib cage, even into our pelvis, that stretching alone is not going to release that downward pull. So I'm going to be showing you my top 3 techniques in the exact order you should follow so that you're not just chasing temporary fixes. The first step is a fascia decompression technique. All you're going to need is a tightly rolled up towel just like this, or a block from block therapy. This will create more of an effective release. We need to understand that our fascia can hold us out of alignment with a force of up to 2,000 pounds per square inch. That's why I was mentioning stretching and strengthening certain areas is not going to provide enough of a change for us to reposition our structure. What we're going to be doing here is spending time in a position, rehydrating and releasing the ground substance in our fascia so that these adhesions and this downward pull can start to let go. So the first step, I'm going to use my towel here. We're going to position this directly over top of the sternum. All of this connective tissue, these muscles connect into the sternum here. When we can release this, it's amazing how much more your shoulders can open up. Now, especially understanding and knowing that our sternum depresses, these upper ribs start to really get close together and internally rotate. The shoulders internally rotate, the head and neck come forward like this. This is probably a similar posture that what you're experiencing right now. So this is the first step. We're going to have the block or the towel just like this directly over top of the sternum, so right between the pecs. You're going to bring your arms out by your side like this so your elbows are on the floor and your hands are flat on the floor as well. Now, the first thing we want to do is not approach it too fast and respect our limits. You are always in control. Let's start by connecting to our breath, breathing in and out through the nose. So as you inhale through the nose, I want you to feel your breath is coming from your diaphragm, this muscle, this plate of muscle inside of our core. As we inhale, the belly and the rib cage should be expanding. Now you might start feeling that there's some pressure, some tension building up. That's a good thing. At any point, if it's too intense, just ease off slightly and reconnect at a less intensity. Once we've settled in for about a minute or so, let's bring the arms out to the side. And I want you to feel that your shoulder blades are getting further away from your spine. So this would be the opposite. We're not squeezing them together. We're pushing them away. And walk your fingers further away from your body. You might feel a pull into the arms. There's a fascial connection from the arms all the way to the rib cage and the neck as well. And we're going to hold this for about 2 minutes. Now, as you're breathing, I want you to feel that you're bringing more breath and awareness into the upper front rib cage and also the upper back rib cage. You might not get that right away, and that is okay, but that is the intention. And we want to decompress from the inside out while also decompressing using this external tool. So once you spent some time here, very slow, we're going to bring the hands under the shoulders and exhale up and off. It is key that we are not rushing it too much. We are breathing in and out through the nose for about an inhalation of 6 counts and an exhalation of 6 counts. This is going to help to calm the nervous system. Step 2 is we are now going to bring a lot of our breath and awareness into the front part of the chest. Do not mistake this for chest breathing. We are still using our diaphragm and our intercostals to breathe. We're not using the neck or the pec muscles to elevate the rib cage. There's a big difference. Now you're just going to follow my guidance as we go through this. The hands are going to be by the side and just slightly behind us. It is very important here that your shoulders are not rotated inwards like this. You're probably feeling a bit of a release from doing that previous position. So now we can bring the shoulders a little bit more back. Think of a proud chest here, but we're not flaring these lower ribs open and extending the back. Let's keep it neutral with the stack of the diaphragm and the pelvis. Now, once we're here, I'm just going to be digging my heels just gently into the floor and towards my pelvis just to engage the posterior chain. And I'm going to gently push into the floor like this. Now, as you can see, My shoulders are getting further away from my ears, my chest is still open, and my shoulder blades are going to be coming back just a little bit. That's going to close off the back rib cage and allow us to bring more breath and expansion into the chest. So I want you to exhale completely through the nose. You're just going to gently look up towards the ceiling like this with your neck. And as you exhale completely, feel the side abs engaging. Lock those low ribs in place so we're not flaring them open. Then nice and gentle and slow, you're going to take an inhale through the nose. And you're going to start feeling the air is directing into the front part of the chest. You're going to hold this for 6 to 8 breaths and do about 2 to 3 sets. To make this a little bit more advanced and challenging, you can lift yourself off of the floor and drag your butt towards your heels just slightly, not too much, and feel that close off more and really focus on expanding your breath into this area of the chest. Step 3, we are going to create a little bit of extension in the spine because we're probably too collapsed here, but without overdoing it. We're just creating enough musculature to help reorient the spine, the rib cage, and the shoulder blades, and continue to bring breath into that area we did in step 2. So we're going to lay flat on our front like this, very similar to that sternum position we did in step 1. The arms are out to the side. I'm feeling the inner elbow. The hands are flat on the floor like this. Now tuck the pelvis under a little bit. So this is more of a posterior pelvic tilt. And now this is going to just help lengthen the low back a little bit so we're not overarching the back. And from here, I want you to gently push with the inner elbows and the hands in towards the floor. You can also use a little bit of musculature in your back to bring yourself up. Now it's important that these low ribs here, just below the pecs, just below the chest, are staying relatively on the floor. That's important so we're not just flaring them open. So I'm gonna come up just about like this, and now I'm gonna hold this. Think of step 2 where we are bringing breath into our chest. We're nice and slow, gonna inhale through the nose and just envision the breath is coming into that area. As we're doing this, I want you to push away so your shoulder blades are getting further away from your spine and your rib cage is moving back. This is gonna help to reposition the rib cage and the spine, and we're gonna hold this for 6 to 8 breaths, even up to 10 breaths. Now, if you want to advance this a little bit, you can slowly start to create a little bit more engagement with your back and lift the hands off of the floor. Now this is more advanced because I don't want you to orient and overextend, but just hold this isometrically and try to breathe in a controlled way while still bringing the breath into the front part of the chest. So again, do about 2 to 3 sets of that and follow this routine probably daily. These are exercises you don't need to recover for a couple days. Do this daily for the next week or 2 and see if you notice a change in your entire posture, your neck hump, your dowager's hump, and if your forward head posture is starting to improve.